Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza Creates. Thanks for joining me today. So we're going to get a little bit grungy. I have got book pages, I've got acrylic paints, I've got some distress oxide spray, I've got some paintbrushes, a bit of water, and we're going to create. Now I got this idea from the Creative Cove. A while back she did a wonderful tutorial on creating grungy bubble paper and I loved it. And I'm not going to do the bubbles, but I just liked the grungy background that she created using book pages and paint. So that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to lay down my cereal wrapper bag so my desk is clear. I'm using just this bit of coffee dyed paper. I would have done this, I think this was like way back when I first started. I don't tend to use coffee now because I don't particularly like the smell. This one's got a little bit of damage on it, but I thought, oh, it doesn't matter because I am going to sort of cover different bits of it. I liked it because it was dark, because what I'm doing is I'm going to create something that I can scan. So I have been going through my enormous book collection and I have been categorizing them, and I've been sorting out which ones are now out of copyright, because I often want to create things that I maybe want to scan, but if I don't use book pages that are out of copyright, I won't be able to do that. So thought, why don't I gather a pile of papers, have them in a drawer labelled or out of copyright paper, so I can create masterboards, and then I know I can scan them and then I can reuse them. Now I like, if I'm doing a masterboard, I like it to be sort of straight lines. It doesn't really matter so much with this project because I'm going to rip them. I'm going to stick them down and rip them up. But because I will then, I like that bit, use this for masterboarding, I will want straight lines. So a bit there. Let's have a bit here. And just a bit. That's just how I roll. I like that with a bit of like a border around it. Right, so I'm going to stick that on there, so that covers that hole up. So yeah. So and what I might do is, after I've scanned it, then I might use the original bit for something, a cover or something, I don't know. Right, so that's on. Not bothered that it's not necessarily straight or anything like that. Just sticking them down. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue around the middle bit. Not too worried about the edges. I might have glued that one down a little bit too much. So you look very cool. Let's have you. You're a bit low down there on the desk, Jez. There we go. I've zoomed right out so you can see, and there's like not much chance of me not being on camera. So yeah, so this is fun. Oh, that's 2 layers there, Jez. That side's not as fun. Oh well, maybe it's done now. Should have checked that. Yeah, should have done a lot of things. What else haven't I used? This. Let's have a bit of that. So yeah, I will link to the Creative Coves video, and I think my friend Cara Renee. I think she did a version as well, so I watched her version. So I'll try and remember, link to them both, so you can go and look. Different takes on the same technique, and here I am doing another take. Let's have a bit more music down there. So I'm going to enjoy the next bit, the getting grungy bit. So this is adding texture as well as colour and what have you. Have a bit down the bottom here. So I'm not giving it any thought really. But I just need things to do that don't require any thought at the moment. Stick you up there. I don't think I've used you, have I? Stick you along there. Let's have something in that corner. There. Oh, have I not got any short hands? Oh, I'm very happy about that. Right, pull you off there. So I can stick some shorthand on there instead. There, right, made a right old mess. Have that in there. Right, so that is those bits all done. So I've got these bits, these will go back in the drawer. So I'm going to put all those things in a drawer. So I'm going to end up with sheets and scraps. It might get very unruly eventually, but we'll see. And then I'm just going to take my nice big scraper. I'm going to give it a bit of a scrape. And I would probably leave it a little bit longer for the glue to take a bit hold, because as I saw when I ripped that bit off, the it's just going to pull up. See, at the moment that will just pull up, so we need to wait until that glue is stuck down properly. So I'm going to leave that for a bit to dry. So I'm going to take a break and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've left it for about 5 minutes and I've kind of tested the waters a little bit. I'm really impatient and I just want to get this done. So yeah. So you can see where I've pulled them up a little bit and given it a little bit of a tear, and this is the idea, to sort of tear them off. And I could leave a little bit of that, bit more of that behind. That's took all of it up, look. I'm throwing these. I would have liked a little bit more shorthand on there, Jez, really. But, you know, maybe I should leave it a bit longer, but you can leave yours a bit longer. There we go. So we're getting a nice little bit of texture. Some of the book pages stay in. Some of it's ripping off completely. And this is the idea. That's nice. So just pulling it up. That's taken the whole top layer of that off. Got a little bit of the print staying down on there. That's very cool. So the different styles of paper will react differently when you're gluing, taking the glue off. Look, that's took that top layer off. And that sort of all helps with the grunginess of it. Liking that. What's going to happen here? Cool. And some papers, when they're really old, they'll just crumble like that one did, but leave quite a bit of it. That was quite brittle, but leave quite a bit of it behind. What are you going to do? Oh, you're going to do that, are you? That's very cool. So you just don't know what you're going to get. And you use any book pages. You don't have to have stuff that's out of copyright that I'm using. I'm just doing that because I want to scan it. But if you haven't got any, then just use any old paper, and you just it's a one and done. You're just peeling up. There we go. I'm actually wanting that to stay down because just covering that on. So I don't actually want this bit to come up, so I'm just going to glue it down. Yeah. There we go. Oh, that's took the top layer of that paper off. As in the paper that's the base. And you can use different paper for the base. I mean, I did think about doing it on like really thick paper, and then having it as a, you know, could use it then afterwards on as a book cover. So if I did it on card, I could then use it as a cover afterwards. That was one of my thoughts. But my actual intention for this was sort of scanning, and I can use the page for whatever. You see that just broke up, really brittle. There we go. And now we've got this bit to come off, and this bit. Oh, I love what that's leaving behind. You're super. There we go. Now I could, before I add anything else to it, I could scan that and have that as it is. I could sort of ink up some of these bits. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, Jez. I think that's a really good idea, Jez. I know, it's grand. Right, oh, I had my Distress Oxide out. I'm going to use Distress Oxide because I'm going to make this wet. And so put a bit of that on. So that's turning those sort of white bits a bit more brown. I'm going to make it quite dark because what I find when I scan is it's always a little bit lighter. It kind of loses some of the colour, but that's that stage. Quite like that. I think I'm going to run downstairs and scan that before I do the next bit. Okay, so I scanned that, and that's the result. You always get a little bit of a change in the colour when you scan. I did play with, it's the other way up, isn't it? I did play a little bit with some filters. It's not a massive amount of difference between these two. I played slightly with it. I think that's a little bit whiter than that. I'm not really sure. And then that is if you just put it on your scanner and then print from scan, and you know it's different again, but you never get that, I find, when I'm actually scan it and save it on the computer. Weird, very weird. Anyway, so got that done and I've got that saved. So now I'm going to add paint to it. Right, so this is where we get messy. So I've written it down there, the Creative Cove, they used acrylic paints and water. So I've got a bit of water here in a wee pot. They used like not your best paintbrushes. These are not my best paintbrushes, as you can see. I think they just squeezed it on a bit of paper. I'm gonna use, I've got this is an old acrylic block. I don't use it for stamps because it's too thin, so your fingers come over like that, and so I just don't like it. So if it was smaller, so I've got a whole set of these, and if they're smaller and you're dipping it in your ink, you get ink on your hands, so that's why I don't like it. So yeah, but the great paint palette, it's really good for watercolouring. And what I'm going to do now, so I'm not going to put the black on first, Jez. I might bung a little bit of, what have we got here, white titanium white even. So I'll just do a little bit of that, little blob, more than a little blob there, Jez. Trouble is you get a little bit up like that. I know what I'll do. I'll just pull it off. That's the way to do it. So I'm a little bit scared now. I don't know why I'm scared, because what's the worst going to happen? It's only paper. So, oh look, stuck my finger in it. So we're going to have a little bit of water. And then I'm just gonna brush it over a bit. And just get some coverage. Maybe soften these edges a little bit. She did keep her brush fairly dry when she was doing it. And you can always rub a bit off. I'm going to get a clean dry wet wipe. Dry wet wipe. It's like an is it an oxymoron? Don't know. Makes no sense. A dry wet wipe. But yeah, I like that. That's a bit better. Right. Try a bit more. So I don't want it real thick. I did think when I was watching it, I was thinking, oh, I wonder what it would be like if I used watercolour, which would be another little experiment to have. Yeah, sticking a bit this on, just having a play. I'm not. I think that's better, having it very weak. That works better, doesn't it? Just smother it on. And I guess you could use gesso. And I've coloured gesso with like re-inkers. Or I've used matte medium and added re-inkers to that. Get a better colour with matte medium. With gesso, it's like anything that you add white to, it dulls the colour a bit. So if you add red to it, it's actually pink, you know. There we go, quite like that. Right, I'm gonna dip this in some water so I can just wipe this off a bit. There we go. And then let's chuck a bit of, let's move up the colours. So I've now got yellow ochre. Just drop one. There we go. Squeeze of that. I'll have some water. Might be a little bit of white still on me. Brush there. Right, so let's add a bit of this. And of course the white hasn't dried, so it is mixing in here. And because these are opaque, it's you're still seeing what's underneath. I might go for opposites here. When I watched the Creative Cove doing it, she just slapped it on without a care in the world, it seemed. So that's what I'm doing. Like a bit of that. Now I could dry it in between so that the next one didn't mix so much. So I might do that. I can take my little heat gun. There we go. It's not too bad. Right. So let's now work our way up. So we've got raw sienna now. Just do a little bit of that. Give it a little bit of a white. There we go. I have put an apron on, and I think that was quite a wise decision, Jez. So that's, don't know why I'm turning it round, just quite a lot on my brush there, I feel. So I don't know if I'm making an almighty mess or if this is going to end up nice, but it's fun. It's Friday night. So it was the afternoon when I did it initially, and then we decided, I've just remembered my son was going to have his hair cut, and so we went up our local street, and I went, oh, because he finished work at 4, and I said, oh, because it's 4 o'clock finish, we could go and have a little gander in the charity shop. So we did. I picked up some bargains. I'll show those in my next haul. And we did our usual Friday early finish. We did go for a little treaky beer, and my other son and Ed are watching the rugby. James is having a bit of a chill, so I was like, oh, I'll finish this off. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'm not gonna dry that off now because I'm going darker with it. So that's just a little blob. That'll be enough. So now we're getting into the darkness. And then I'll be adding other things. I'm going to actually, I've just suddenly thought, I want to do a bit of rubbing. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. They're shouting at the telly. The team's not been playing very well, so they're not happy. They're season pass holders, and Ed was like, I'm seriously considering not renewing next year. They're playing appallingly, and they paid for this streaming service. So, and it's like, and this is the year we paid for the streaming service to watch the games. It's rugby league, and because we live in north, and it's a northern thing, and well, they do play it in Australia and New Zealand as well, but and the south of France, and yeah, so they're shouting at the telly. That's what they do when they watch sports. They shout at the telly. Not really seeing very much of the paper that I put on, but it is there. You can see it, Jez. You can, don't worry. I'm going to come in and sort of soften it down. Yeah. Well, grungy, I do like a bit of grunge. That's why in the collaboration I picked the rustic and grungy, because that's what I like. And I'm going for like vintage colours, and of course when this is scanned it'll be a bit lighter, because that's what happens when you scan, is it does go a bit lighter. There we go, proper slapping now, and then I'm gonna wipe it off, tone it down. Yep, that's cool. right up mess in the middle there. I might try a little bit. So this is now wet. Yeah, a little bit baby white painting. Proper just playing around with it now. And I haven't added the black yet. Right, so you can still see the I'm going to go over it with a wet cloth so that we can bring out the let's get another one, the book pages. Before I totally cover it by adding the black. Let's knock it all back a tad. It's bringing back some of that texture that I had created. Yep. Right, so that's that. Let's sort of hold this up a little bit so you can see what's going on there. It's very wet, really wet. You can see on the other side how wet it's getting. So you can really see the texture up close. So I'm gonna dry what's there before I go any further. I'm gonna put this underneath it because that's plastic. So let's get that dried off. Right, so that is now all much drier. So yeah, quite like what's going on there. So I'm gonna put a bit of black on it. Get another block out. Get another little block for the black. It's Mars black. I don't know what difference that is to other black, but I'm sure it doesn't make that much difference. So let's just get a bit of that off. A bit of water. I did get another brush out, but I don't think I need it. There we go. Getting a bit of a mixture. It's not black. Right, I'm gonna wipe it off a bit there. It's like a brown black. So let's get a bit on the edges. Yeah, it's very sort of browny black that. Oh, I've got my got my thing underneath. So I'm going to be adding, so after I've scanned, I'm then going to add stamping, so then you can add, and then I can't scan it once stamping's on it, but I can add stamping to the scanning. You know, and do it over and over again. And that was my thoughts, that I would be having something to act as a base, and then I'll just do things on it. And then I'm going to mix in other things now. Creating a sort of almost like a cave thing going on there. Right, now what I want to do is, once again, what have I done with that bit of wetness? A little wet cloth, Jez. There it is. No, it's not. That's so. I want to once again find where I've got bits of paper on there. It's looking a little bit like an almighty mess, but one that I like. I don't dislike it. So I'm now going to dab on So I'm just going around, having a play, making it up as I go along, adding little bits of the other colours, just with this dry baby white that I'm making wet again. little bit of dark in there. Yeah. Well and truly grungy there, Jess. Well and truly grungy. There. I think that's that bit done. So I'm going to dry it off and I'm going to scan it, and then we can do some other things to it. I'm going to add some stamping and different things like that. But that is a lovely grungy mess. If you like grunge, that's well and truly grunged. And I think I like it now. So the Creative Cove did a load of sort of doodling, and she did bubbles and things like that, which might do, but at the moment I didn't want to do that. I wanted to just make a grungy mess. So I'm going to dry it off and then scan it and come back to you. Okay, so I scanned it and this is what I got. So you never get quite the same colour from a scan, but I quite like that it's a little bit lighter, which is why I made this so dark. So because I knew that scanning it would be a bit lighter. And so you can see some of those sort of book pages. You've got a sense of the texture that we've got going on. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how that turned out. So then on my scanner I can play with it a little bit, and I can add sort of filters to it and sort of change it up a little bit, which is what I've done. So out of that one sheet I've then sort of lightened it a little bit, not massively so, but it is a little bit lighter there, and then went even lighter on that one. I forgot to tell it to print borderless, but no matter. So we got that one, and then I went really light on that one, and then I kind of added a little bit of sort of orangey, some warmth to it there, and then I went cool and got some blues going on. So that was a one way of sort of getting lots of different sort of prints out of that one original bit of artwork. So who would have thought that I got that from that? So yeah, and then I decided to make myself some sort of grungy pockets and tags and envelopes. So I made some pocket shapes there, and then I made some tags out of it, again using I'd sort of used the different sort of tones that I got, so that I've got a range of grunginess, and with the tags I sort of changed which section of the sheet I used. I put a sort of a neutral background on it there, and then the same with some journaling cards, and again backed them. Then I did some envelopes. So those two are printed on 200 GSM cardstock. This is on 120 GSM paper, as is the envelope. So this is the same envelope. I just told it to print twice, and I've backed it. I lightened it down a lot, so that this could be written on if I wanted to. These are two different tags. I have done this sheet with another different envelope next to it, but I printed that instead. So yeah, got some nice grungy envelopes, and I did these 2 to a page to go on the back of this as well. Oh, and then I just did the journaling cards there, 2 to a page, so I've got sort of a smaller size, and I just backed that with some plain paper. So I got all that from that one bit of artwork. So the other idea that I had with it is that having got your scan, is to then, let's take the lighter one, is to then, if I want to use, I can use this now. This could be a nice journaling page. I'd coffee dye the back, tea dye the back, but you know, that'd be a nice page in a journal, but you can, you know, dress it up if you want to. So my idea was now to add stamping, and then once you've had your stamping, it's no longer copyright free. You would you know, it would be what it is, and you can stamp on it to whatever sort of theme you're doing in your grungy journal. So it's more ledgery than scripty. I like this big one. I've got another script one, which I think is around my desk somewhere, but I don't know. So we'll take that one. And get a block for it. And I'm gonna, so this is a bit browny. So I'm gonna use, yeah, I think that colour's a bit better. I think we'll stick with the sort of browny tones. Give that a good ink up, and I'm gonna put that on there, and I'm gonna just do a touch of it, as opposed to full stamps, so you're just getting sort of hints of it. Not very straight that, but it doesn't matter really. So what I've got there, that's the, oh no, that's stamp. I was going to say, oh, that's the paper underneath, but I don't think it is. So there, so we're getting some inking on it, and I think that really sort of adds something to it. Want something right in the middle there. There, yeah, liking that. So we're still very much got a background image on it. I might put that on it. So I might stamp that. Over there. Yep. Might put it up on the other side as well. That's worked nicely. I might come in now with something else with this colour. We've got 15 cents. Let's have some 15 cents. And I might get my An espresso, that's nice and dark. And I might do the shipment. So this is all from the same stamp set. I've not added another stamp set, and I might put you in the middle so you're kind of straddling the two pages. Like so. So that this will then can go as a journal page. I'll just fold it in half. You can see how that would look as a nice grungy journal page. I like that. And you could have, let's see, that could be the other side of it, and then we could maybe add a pocket. So if we get one of the pockets, I'll show you how I was thinking we would use these, and then you just cut these down. I've not backed this because you're not going to see it. There we go. And then we're gonna, I'm gonna get, where's my ruler gone? There it is. If I just get my bone folder, and you can crease along those crease lines. I'm going the wrong way first, just because it's easier to see. There we go. Now I might just trim off that white edge. I'll say it's not important because you're not really going to see it. So now I get folded the other way. Bit of burnish. So that's your pocket, and you can decide which way you want it, up or down. I think I'll have that as the bottom and that as the top. So that just needs sticking down. So a bit of glue to stick that down. So I like to give the edge of my pocket. If you print this on cardstock, you can just cut this bit off because it will be stiff enough, and then that will just glue those edges down. Bit of glue there, bit of glue up there. And then that can, and then you can add some, move my paints out of the way, we can just add some ink around the edges. Even though it's super duper grungy, I do like to add a bit more. I think I need another sponge. Look at the state of that. Worn right down, that was. There we go. And then that could be decorated as well, but I just wanted to show you as a for instance that could be a pocket on another page, and then it kind of all links in, and then you could stamp on that to have that in keeping. So There we go. So that just adds something to that paper and makes it look a bit matchy to the other side. And then we could cut the tag out, and that can go in that pocket there. So it's a nice pocket with a gusset. And then I can decorate the tag however I want to. So that's just my ideas. So that has started life as a little painting, which is on the other side of here. I'm looking for it. So it started life like that, and I've got journaling pages, pockets, tags, journaling cards. So there we have a nice grungy envelope, which can be decorated however you want. So I think I'll leave that there for now, and I'll do another video where I decorate some of these bits of ephemera that I've made that could clip around like so. Just love it. Love it. So I will I'll put this collection, sort of like a mini grungy kit that is just plain, that you could, a blank canvas, except it's not blank, for you to sort of build on and add ephemera and things to for decoration. And I'll bring you another video where I actually decorate these things. I'll cut them out and decorate them for you on camera. Okay, so I'll link down below to where this will be on my Ko-fi, and yeah, I hope that's given you some ideas. I mean, the possibilities are endless really with stamping on these and doing them whichever sort of theme you like. I hope you've enjoyed this, and yeah, I will do some more of this if you like it, and create some. I might do one less grungy next time, and yeah, so see you all again soon.